Shift number 1 in math is focus. So the number 1 priority for us as we are working with developing our materials, and as you're thinking about how to arrange your lives, how to arrange the scope and sequence of the ways that you teach math, it's really looking at what are we carving away in order to make room for the priority standards, for the central math concepts that must be learned, the emphasized concepts that must be learned in a particular grade. Shift number 2 is coherence. How do these math concepts play out across grades? So one of the things we know, and this research is in Appendix A of the math standards, one of the things we know is that the highest correlator for success in college is mastery of algebra. So if a student has mastered algebra by the time they enter college, they are far more likely to be successful in college. And the number 1 predictor of success in algebra is success in fractions. The number 1 predictor of success in fractions is success with arithmetic. Right? So these things play out in progressions. That's a big, big example. All of this math scopes together. So a lot of the work that we've done looking at gap analysis and what's in the old standards, what's in the new standards, a lot of that really has to be put aside to think about math very, very differently and the way it coheres across grades and within grades. Fluency is another big piece of news for us with the Common Core State Standards. We are now looking at the fact that students need to have a real reflex, a real memorization, a real recall of core math facts before they are able to do what we're asking them to do grade by grade. Again, this math is more rigorous, it is harder, it is more complex because we're asking, and those are the fluencies by grade, we are asking students to get to deep conceptual understanding in math. This is a very, very different way to do math. One of the central things that we have to understand as adults who've grown up in America in this culture, one of the consequences of that is that our math training largely, for most of us, has been about getting to the answer, has been about what is the trick. And very, very rarely do we really deeply own and take responsibility for that math and really understand how the math works and how the numbers relate to each other. When you have achieved that, you have achieved deep conceptual understanding, and we have to drive our students there. It's going to take a lot of learning on our part in order to pull that off. Shift number 5 is application. So in addition to that fluency, we are also looking at the need to apply math in real-world contexts. So when we do math in our grown-up lives, we are very rarely prompted about about the fact that we're doing math and about what kind of math it is, right? When the waitress brings us the check, she does not say, "This is a percentage moment." When you sit down at the mortgage broker, he does not warn you to take out your calculator, right? So these are real-world applications. We need math in order to survive, in order to be successful grown-ups. Our students need math in order to be college and career ready, and one of the ways we're going to know this is that they can do the math without being prompted. And finally, shift number 6 is dual intensity. So this is the idea that the math wars, should they be doing lots and lots of problems? Should they be memorizing? Should they be doing tables? Or should they be doing real-world cool stuff with math? The answer is everybody wins. It's both. Is that there is a very distinct role for the teacher, for the student, for the principal, and even for the parent. But really, how does this play out in my role? What is my responsibility, and how can I drive this change from the seat that I have?